Today I'm walking into one of the most important business days of Creator Sports Club, and 90% of my business comes from days like today. It's about going to the right conferences and meeting cultural leaders, investors and creators, holistically looking at Creator Sports Club and seeing how we can get them interested and involved. We are at the start of what I call the crazy season, whether it's launching Creator Sports Club, which is going to happen very, very soon, which is exciting, to working with brand innovators on a crazy run of event, doing events at Universal Music Group. We'll be at Cannes Film Festival, I'll be at Cannes Lions, we'll be at South by Southwest London, and I'm excited for those because I really believe in the power of in-person connection. There's been a lot happening behind the scenes with Creator Sports Club. The reality is that when you're building an app, it takes time. There's time behind the scenes of getting the UI and the UX designs ready. So that's the look and the feel, the aesthetic of what the software looks like. In one of the past vlogs you would have seen with my co-founders Julian and Andrew, we now have a V1, we have the look and the feel, the UI, the UX. I've got creatorsportsclub.com. We've got at Creator Sports Club seamlessly across Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. Sounds like a minor, but it's so nice to have that and just to tell everyone it's the same handle. So for me, the focus is on the launch strategy. We'll be identifying creator ambassadors in the launch cities, which will be London, New York, LA, and Denpasar in Bali. Bali is a small island. I wanted to just have Bali, but actually the language, we kind of need to say choose your city. So I'm okay, we'll do Denpasar. But I know a lot of you creators love Canggu. And something that I hadn't thought of was the lengthy application process it takes to become part of the Apple developer program. Because of Claude Code and everyone vibe coding, it's flooded the Apple developer application process, and so that just means there's a backup of people trying to get apps on the App Store. So that's a bit frustrating because we can plan and do as much that we can control, but now we're kind of at the mercy of the Apple developer gods as to when the app will go live in the App Store. But today's the 6th of May, and so I'm pretty confident it will launch in May. I think that's just a key lesson for everyone. Everything does take longer than you expect. Rarely things are gonna be bang on time, and in a way it gives us some breathing time. Take our time, get the socials up and running, have a bit more time to QA test the app and just get everything aligned. It's an exciting time. The power of relationships, never been more important than ever. The Creator Sports Club, I'm very lucky kind of across the different businesses of getting invited to these events and also hosting events for myself. But the one thing I'd say is really see the importance in networking and relationships. It truly compounds over time. You can build a great product, but if you are not talking about it, if you're not getting out there and sharing what you're doing and kind of selling the dream and the vision and getting other people excited, it's only going to just stay in the App Store. It's only going to, sit on the shelf. And we have to grow this app organically. I don't have a ton of money to put behind Meta ads at the start. We want to bootstrap this. And so now it's on me to identify the right rooms to be in. I think the app has such potential. It's really going to be a rocket ship, I believe, because we're in an age now, there's a pandemic of loneliness. More creative entrepreneurs that are sat behind the screen, they are lonely, they want to meet people, and not everyone wants to get drunk at night and stay out. They want to connect through in-person events, and there's no better way to do that than through sport and activity. And so we truly believe in the concept, and then now it's about how can we identify the right partners. That starts with the launch strategy. It's finding creator ambassadors, creator entrepreneurs that believe in this. What we're going to be doing is an organic rollout of affiliate marketing. So, incentivizing people to share invite codes and to also get paid a referral on successful user acquisition. So that's one thing that we're doing. So launching in London, New York, LA, and Denpasar and Bali, that's strategic because they are creator hotspots. A lot of creative entrepreneurs are there. So identifying the right people. It's not the big, crazy names. It's a mix of people that have influence within their kind of neighborhoods, I call it. It's their community, their neighborhood of friends or people that can share and talk about the app. And I'm excited to see how that strategy rolls out. today is important because there's a conference called Brands and Culture. There'll be a lot of brands there. There'll also be a lot of agencies. So a lot of the big agencies that represent the brands, they're looking for unique ways to help their brands get in front of different audiences and sticky audiences. And so having those conversations now, being in the room, planting those little seeds in different people's brains, whether they are the creators that could be ambassadors, whether they're brands that could potentially be partners, or agency leaders that are like getting excited about the opportunity to partner with Creator Sports Club. And if I'm able to do that on a regular cadence with the events that we've got coming up and also the events that I'm hosting, I think that will be the way that we truly achieve success in this organic way. Yeah, those sessions were pretty cool. They had like the chief marketing officer of Channel 4, CMO of Nothing Tech, global brand director Pernod Ricard, talking about like, do brands have the authority to like create culture? So I think that's quite an interesting narrative. It was a bit of a debate because I think a lot of people didn't agree with it. It's like brands can participate in culture but not create culture. I don't know, I kind of sit on the fence with that one because I do feel brands have the budget and the power to provide a platform for culture to grow. And I think good brands that do it, like a Nike, like an Adidas, do it well. You know, they could create initiatives to, whether that's through educational learning, different demographics, you know, be creative or music production or things like that. Like, I think that's where there's value. But I am against people that are like trying to ride the coattails and be inauthentic, or what people talk about a lot is just like flash in the pan advertising. It's like you're trying to rob or borrow from culture because you want a piece of it, because you ultimately want to sell something. That's not cool. I don't agree with that, but I do believe if you're a brand that can help foster, educate, upskill within culture, I think that's a good thing. The main reason for being there was the networking, so it was great to see some familiar faces and meet some new people, but also like the content's really good. You know, I think if you get senior brands talking about what they're activating, you know, I look at that, like I just find it so interesting because if you have access to that insight and you can look at all the different playbooks of different brands, like one of them was the global brand and creative director for Depop, and how he was talking about like how you can measure culture. It's not just by like doing a creator partnership or activating, it's how, you know, what are you seeing in the press, how can you collaborate with other different IPs. You know, he mentioned Euphoria, the big kind of HBO show, and like I took a few screenshots. Like it's just so interesting because all of this stuff, what I'm doing, I'm just taking it all in, because then I'm thinking about how can we create a holistic brand for Creator Sports Club. Like for me, I want it to be a premium brand. I want it to be something that people aspire to be part of. It's a community, so it's how are we representing a diversity of people, showcasing portraits, the vibe, the energy, the feeling of belonging in real life sport activities, sweat, like excitement, smiles, all of this stuff, it adds to the brand. And like, you know, he shared different creatives of then how people are creating user-generated content, or how they've been on Saturday Night Live, different things of where Depop has shown up in culture. And like, it's inspiring because I'm thinking about how can I apply some of this, or the best of the things, or the things that I like, to create Creator Sports Club as a sticky brand. That's fucking cool. One thing that's kind of interesting to talk about is like understanding like what is your networking mindset. You know, I think a lot of us are trying to do cold outreach as you have to. It's about that compound effect when you're meeting people in real life, and don't forget, like, we're human, and the idea is that we're building real relationships. There's nothing better than like finding people that you can relate to, or understanding if there's, you know, specific brands, leaders that you're wanting to meet. You know, just be friendly, be cool, approach people, introduce yourself, be polite. You know, for events like that, or for summits, if you're able to get the guest list or have a look ahead of time, a lot of these events, they put like agendas on the website and have a look through. You know, 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the event, what you can do is kind of understand like who's going to be there. A lot of the times the speakers, you know, will share the titles or the brands or the names, and then what you can do is like go on LinkedIn, connect with those people, send them a note like, hey, you know, so you're going to be at Brands and Culture event, like it'd be great to maybe find time for a coffee, or, you know, I'll try and grab you at lunch. You know, people are excited, they're going to an event, they want to meet people. Like if you put in the ask in that way, already you're setting a good impression, and you'll be remembered. And so I think maybe that's something that gets overlooked. That's a bit of like a hack as to how to maximize these events. And of course, you know, just being in the room, you'll naturally kind of bump into people, and that's a serendipitous moment. If you want to get really adventurous, maybe you could wear like a crazy shirt, like a Hawaiian shirt, to stand out, and then you're going to get compliments of people coming up to you talking about your shirt. I think having a strategy is important. I think a lot of young people, one, are not going to events and just kind of sit behind the phone and the laptop, and I think two, it's being approachable, it's being open, and it's having that strategy. Think about it a little bit more, be a bit more prepared, but also, one, getting the list, seeing who's there and reaching out, setting a good impression, being structured, show effort, think about what you're trying to get out of the event. There's a lot of people at that event, but some events it might be a specific type of person you're trying to meet, and a lot of the brands. And I think one thing I would say is, like, don't hard pitch anyone. It's about building relationships. It's if you're hosting your own events or doing other things, that you can kind of give back first before you try to take. That's a good tip. And over time, as I said, it compounds, but people get to know you. You invite them to your things, they invite to their things, and then all of a sudden, those relationships turn into partners and clients. And so that's the best way to unlock the networking strategy. Yeah, so if I think of like the key focus areas of Creator Sports Club in the next quarter, we're playing a little bit of cat and mouse with the Apple developer program, just because there's so many people vibe coding and like pushing stuff to the App Store. Like, there's a bit of a backlog for approvals. So, I've said to the team, like, whilst that's happening, how can we maximize our team in terms of user testing and really take advantage of this time, like especially for me to, get a handle on the key launch cities, understanding and identifying those creator ambassadors, and putting together like a foundation of a plan so that when we do get approved by the Apple App Store, then we can like press go. I think now finally we're starting to get the visuals, the branding, all of that matters for me when I'm communicating what we're doing with Creator Sports Club, and like trying to get people to believe in the vision, more so on the creator ambassador side. So that's like a real big focus, and that's the big challenge. We believe in the idea, we got to get other people to believe in it. And I think if we can have everything in place from that launch strategy, the marketing, the branding, an incredible product that Julian and Andrew are working on behind the scenes, being in that place and we can press the go button, it will be super important. So those are the key focuses at the moment. I think there's a lot of travel happening in different events. So what's great is like I can be talking to different brands, different partners, letting them know what we're doing. For Cannes Lions, I'm gonna get some cool merch that says like Creator Sports Club, the hat, the jacket, and if I'm in a room where there's like a bunch of decision makers from big brands, like I'm gonna market the app myself. So it's an exciting time, and there's a lot more to come. So lots to do though.